Okay, so hi everyone. I wanted to just touch base really quickly about something that's been on my mind, and that's social media meanies and how to deal with them, and really more important, just how to stay sane. I'm going to tell you what I mean as we go along. Now, I'm in the car with Sebastian because we are coming back from the vet. He's fine. But I wanted to just kind of get this out there without, obsessing on it over much. So here I go. Give me 1 second as I back out here. It's a rainy day in the Northeast. As you can see, it's kind of chilly. It's one of those weird kind of January days that doesn't know what it wants to be. But you know what? Let's try and find some beauty in every season, right? So here's the thing with the social media. I sound like I'm 105, but basically, you know that we all use social media for a variety of reasons, but a significant one is for connection, right? We connect with people in various ways throughout our lives. That need really is very wired into our beings, even if you're an introvert. Even if you're socially anxious, a part of you wants some degree of connection. So if you're really introverted or socially anxious, or for whatever reason you can only do so much in-person interaction, of course social media allows you to modulate your exposure and control the level of intimacy, right? Because you can always log off, or just not respond to certain things, or only have certain people in your quote friend groups. But if you're really extroverted, it's a way of augmenting your connections, your time with people, and so forth. And if we've learned anything during this pandemic era, it's how important connections are for all of us. We're just wired for it. So please know that I'm not saying that social media in and of itself is a good or bad thing to be doing. It's a thing, and it's a thing that meets multiple needs for us as human beings. Now, here's where there's one of many places where there's a problem. Most of us engage in social media only wanting a specific type of outcome from what we post. We want people to like or love or share the content that we feel like enhances us in some way. It shows us in a good light. We look good, or something great happened for us, or our kid did something wonderful, and that's human nature too. And when we are going through something challenging, we have a family member who's ill or something's going on, we want support. And sharing something of ourselves, whether it's in person or on social media, is a way to connect and engage and have social connections that could potentially feel very enriching. Now, the problem, of course, as you know, is that there are people we don't want seeing our stuff, right? I can't imagine someone who's like, you know what, anybody, wants to see my stuff, fine. Maybe somebody out there feels that way. But for most of us, we want people to treat the intimate things we share, even if they're shared in a public forum, right? And I want to tell you that even if your Facebook settings or whatever are private, they're not. It's a public forum, and you should consider it as such, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But we want people to respond the way we want them to. Of course, it's human nature. But the challenge is you're always going to get people who either generally or sometimes will be a little catty or a lot catty. They will not be happy for you when something goes well, for whatever reason. And maybe it has something to do with you, and maybe it has something to do with them, and maybe it's a combination. Probably both, usually. But people will take your stuff and use it to create their own narrative. We all have thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And you know what? A lot of times the opinions people have won't be ones that make you feel great, or the things that they think aren't that big a deal that they say might be hurtful to you, and so forth. So the thing is that, you can't control anything anybody says or feels. And I know I've talked about this more in depth in the 4 types of toxic people podcast that I did a while back. You might want to check that out. But people will have the thoughts, feelings they have. They'll do the things that they feel they want to do. Some people are especially prone to feeling joy at others' misfortune. So you may have heard the term Schadenfreude or Schadenfreude, and it basically means like delight at someone else's misfortune. And some people that might be their normal mode of being, right? They might have a really hard time being happy for you, even if they are your friend, your family member, your in-law. And so why am I saying all this? Because you know all this, right? If you post something and you only share it with your intimate circle of friends, and your intimate circle might be 100, 500, 1,000 people on some social media platform, no matter how private you think it is, it's not. You know that. Everybody knows that. But we don't think about that. When we step into these virtual spaces, there is a sense of intimacy. There is a sense of control, and they are marketed to make you feel like there is more control than there actually is. And what I would say is, I'm not even talking about like the super racy stuff, the stuff that maybe you would only really want to share with a partner. I'm not talking about, stuff that, would be career ending for you if people knew you said it. That's a whole other realm. But this stuff that is just stuff that is a private thought, a strong opinion that may not even be an opinion that endures in the same way over time. We have all said and posted things that, as we have grown or become more aware or more thoughtful or more considerate, we would not post now. And if you've posted it already, even if you've deleted it, it's still kind of out there. It's water under the bridge. But what I'm talking about is you have a desire for a certain type of validation or support from the people in your quote friend groups. If you have blocked people, it's because they cannot meet those needs, or they have done something hurtful, or you just don't feel as comfortable with them, right? And yet there is no way to ensure that either A, the people in your friend sphere will treat things with love, compassion, and care and kindness, and B, there is no way to know for sure if the people who may care about you may also feel like they need to kind of be a little mean. You know who they are. And there's no way to ensure that the people that you have blocked don't see your stuff because someone shares your post, or someone screenshots something, or they create a fake account. I mean, I'm not trying to sound paranoid, but you know what I mean. People are people. So here are some ways to cope with people either not giving you the validation you seek, or giving it to you maybe in a backhanded compliment way that feels kind of yucky, or saying one nice thing to your face, but then kind of being awful behind your back. Here's the first thing. As I have said previously, and you know it already, sometimes it's just good to hear, you cannot change who people are. Even if they themselves want to change and do something differently, they may not. They may not change. And if it's fundamental to them, or they've been this way a long time, you just got to let it go. You can't make a cow meow. You really can't. You're not going to change one type of animal into another, and you're not going to change one kind of person into another. First of all, we can't change anybody else. Relatedly, number 2, we only have a limited amount of time and energy while we are in these bodies on this earth, and we get to choose how we want to spend it. Every time we spend a lot of time thinking about someone else, not liking us or not validating us or saying something awful or whatever, that is sucking up energy and time, and it actually causes our bodies to respond as if we are under a real physical threat. That's just how we're wired. So we can literally make ourselves sick. So the more you can do meditation, exercise, cognitive reframing to let that stuff go, the better off you will be. People are going to say, feel, think, and do what they're going to say, feel, think, and do. You can't do anything about it, but you can choose how much you want to suffer about it. And it takes practice. It's not always easy, I know. I really do. Third thing is, you have the right to not share something. And if you are concerned that your college roommate or grade school friend or in-law or whatever is going to come across something and not treat it with the love and care and kindness that you would ideally want someone to, you have the right to not post stuff, right? So sometimes I know that number 3 is the hardest, because we get that weird itch, right? That feeling of like, I just want to post this. I want to share it. I don't want to think about it. I want things to be fine. And that's an option. But honestly, take all the privacy precautions that you can. Be thoughtful about what you post. If you post it, you got to kind of let go of what happens to it. And then the fourth thing is that people can be kind of a little, not so nice, not only by what they do say that can be mean-spirited or twist or whatever, or share something and misrepresent what something that's going on with you, but they can, not comment. And if you are really sensitive to that, again, you're just going to suffer. Right? So we all have the friend or family member who, is going to comment or like or something when, it's something where you're not at the top of your game. Something difficult is going on maybe, right? But when you share something that's going well, it's going to be like crickets. You're not going to hear from them, no matter what, because that's just their thing. Or that's just their thing with you. Or there's something in you that triggers something in them. And you know what? Number 5, what other people think of you, kind of related to one of the earlier points, but is none of your business. None of my business either. Because again, we can't, who the heck would want the responsibility of making sure everybody else always behaved a certain way or thought a certain thing? Even if we could do it, it would be exhausting and take time and energy again away from all the stuff we want to do. So those are just some thoughts, just some ways to stay sane in the face of social media meanies. And again, if you aren't sure you want to post it, maybe don't. So anyway, that's that. Thanks for taking a ride with me and Sebastian. And until next time, I wish you all the very best. You deserve it.